A very good morning to all of you students of class 11. I'm going to start NSO Science Olympiad Model Test Paper 4. As you can see that section 1 is a physics part. In a first question there is given a certain simple harmonic vibrator of mass 0.1 kg has a total energy of 10 joule. Its displacement from the mean position is 1 centimeter. When it has equal kinetic and potential energies, you need to calculate the amplitude A and the frequency N of a vibrator are A, B, C and D. The options are in A, amplitude equal to √2 centimeter and the frequency N equal to 500 by pi hertz. In option B, the amplitude equal to √2 centimeter and the frequency N equal to 1000 by pi hertz. In a C it is given A equal to 1 by √2 centimeter and the frequency is 500 by pi hertz. In the D it is given amplitude equal to 1 by √2 centimeter and equal to 1000 by pi hertz. So we need to calculate what is the solution of this. Here you can see that the option A will be the correct answer as the amplitude is pi 2. How you will calculate the amplitude? If you will take a mass 0.1 kg and a total energy 10 joule, total energy of 10 joule has an equal to kinetic and potential energy. So 10 joule is divided by 2 and when you will get an amplitude, it will comes √2 centimeter. Like a frequency is there, if you will take a displacement from the mean position equal to 1 centimeter, mass 0.1 kg as well as the total energy 10 joule, if you will divide this, it will come the frequency of vibration in a vibrator 500 by pi hertz. Okay, come to the second question. In a circuit shown, current through the 25 volt it is. So here we have to calculate the current which is passed from the 25 volt potential difference. We need to learn first of all the circuit is given. All these are given in the parallel series. In the first, the potential difference is V1 equal to 10 volt. In a second, 5 volt, V2 5 volt, V3 20 volt, V4 30 volt and V5 equal to 25 volt. If you will see that resistance is 5 ohm, R1, R2 10 ohm, R3 5 ohm, R4 11 ohm, but there is no resistance is given in the fifth one circuit. So we need to calculate first of all by the parallel series. The equation is 1 by equal resistance is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3 plus 1 by R4 plus 1 by R5. So we need to calculate the equivalent resistance which is passed through all the circuit which are here 5. Again we need to calculate by the potential difference. Okay, so here it is given Ohm's law. If you will put the value of the potential difference and the equivalent resistance, it will comes the option C, which is 12 amperes. So the answer will be in the current where the 25 volt cell is there, the current equal to 12 volt. Okay, come to the next, which is question number 3. A large cylindrical container has a base diameter of 3 centimeter and it is filled with a non-viscous liquid up to a height of 2 meters. The minimum horizontal acceleration of the container so that the pressure at the point A of the container become equal to the atmospheric pressure will be option A 3 by 2 gram, B 4 by 3 gram, C only G, that is a G actually not gram, it is acceleration due to gravity, and option D will be 3 by 4 gram. So where it is given that in the question the base diameter of the cylindrical container equal to 3 meters and it is filled with the height of 2 meters. So first of all we need to calculate the cylindrical container has a acceleration. So 3 into 2 will be the 6 and it will be the acceleration 1 by 2 into height into base. So if you will get this container becomes the equal of atmospheric pressure will be option B 4 by 3 grams. Okay, come to the next question. Question number 4. The frequency of a sonometer wire is F. but when the weights produced, the tension are completely immersed in water. The frequency becomes F by 2, and on immersing the weight in a liquid, the frequency becomes F by 3. Okay, the specific gravity of the liquid will be option A 4 by 3, option B 16 by 9, option C 15 by 12, or D 32 by 7. So frequency V is always directly proportional to the root T. Okay, so the root T is a frequency, where the T is a tension in the smoother wire. We have to calculate the valency or the frequency of air by the water. As the two medias are there, here we can see that the weight of air and the weight of water, whereas the total frequency produced in the air and water. If you will put the value, you can see that the frequency in the wire is F. If it is produced in a weight or a tension will be immersed in water, it becomes half. So F by 2 is there. And the weight of the liquid, when it is immersed in the weight in liquid completely, it will F by 3. So in the similar cases, we need to know that 4 is a tension, and again in the air in water it will become 4 by 3. So we can know that the specific gravity of the liquid will be calculated by the tension of L by P, air and water. So it will be as 3 3s are 9, and then it will be 36 minus 27 equal to 4. So we know that the specific gravity of the liquid will be 32 by 27. Okay, so the option D will be the answer. Again, question number 5. Blocks are shown in the figure have equal mass m each. The system is released from rest with a spring unstretched. The string between A and ground is cut when there is a maximum extension in the spring. The acceleration of center of mass of a system of two blocks immediately after the string is cut is option A g, option B g by 2, option C 2g, and D is a 0. So the answer will be G, as we already know that whereas there is a time period equal masses m and the system is released from the rest and the spring is unstretched, the string between A in and the ground is cut when there is a maximum extension in the spring. Option A, B, C and D will be there. So answer will be 0, D. Okay, immediately after the spring is cut, the acceleration of the center, which is an acceleration due to gravity, will be completely 0 mass of the system of a two blocks. Answer will be 0, option number D. Come to the next question, number 6. A particle of mass m starting from the rest moves vertically upward from the surface of the earth under an external force F. Here the direction is also given. Where the varies which are varies with the height z as F is equal to bracket 2 minus alpha z mg, whereas alpha is denoted a positive constant and h is a maximum height where the particle rises, then which of the following is or are the correct? Option A, h equal to 2 by pi alpha, and B equal to work done by F during motion up to h by 2 is equal to 3 mg by 2 alpha. Number C, velocity of the particle at h by 2 is root g by alpha, and option D, all of this. In the question number 6, the options are A, B, C and D. In A, h is directly equal to 2 by alpha. B, work done by F during the motion up to h by 2 is 3 mg by 2 alpha. Option C, velocity of particle at h by 2 is root g by alpha, and the option D is all of this. Under this particle of mass m, which is starting from the rest and it is moved vertically upward to the earth under the external force F, and particle rises to the constant or maximum height h, where all the options are actually correct. Okay, So the option number D, all of these will be the answer. Question number 6 is done. 7. Vectors A and B include an angle theta between them. If A plus B and A minus B respectively subtend angles alpha and beta with A, then tan alpha plus tan beta will be the option. As you can see that two vectors are given there, A and B, and both the vectors having an angle theta between them. So we need to add them. So given angle A and B will be theta. New alpha or angle is between A plus B and another will be between A minus B. So tan alpha will be equal to B sin theta by A plus B cos theta, whereas that tan beta will be equal to B sin theta by A minus B cos theta. If you will add 1 and 2, first and second equation, we will get tan alpha plus tan beta, where the options are B sin theta by A plus B cos theta plus B sin theta by A minus B cos theta. And if we will go through it by adding, we will get the option B, answer 2AB sin theta by A square minus B square cos square theta. As you know it very well that A plus B, A minus B will be equal to A square minus B square. Okay. Question number 8. A disc of R radius equal to 10 centimeter, which is oscillates as an physical pendulum about an axis perpendicular to the plane of a disc at a distance r from its center. If r is equal to r by 4, that is small r is equal to capital R by 4, then the approximate period of oscillations is, what will be the option? A, B, C or D. If you will take the acceleration due to gravity equal to 10 meter per second square, the option A is 0.84 second, option B is 0.94 second, option C is 1.26 second, option D is 1.42 seconds. Okay. Here you can see that the options are 0.84 second, 0.94 second, 1.26 second and 1.42 second. So the option B, 0.94 second will be the answer. How it comes, students? So we can take that the physical pendulum has a time period T. Okay, so the formula of the time period will be equal to 2 pi root 1 by mgh. What is m? M is a mass, g is the acceleration due to gravity and h is a height. So where the momentum or moment of an inertia pendulum about an axis through the pivot in direction. Wherever the center of mass is also there, m is the mass of the pendulum. In this case, a solid disc of R oscillates and the physical pendulum about an axis, which is perpendicular to the plane of the disc at the distance r from the center. Here, if you will put the value, it will comes T equal to 2 pi 9 mr square by 16 by mg r by 4. What is m? M is a mass. What is r? R is actually the distance. What is g? Acceleration due to gravity. So total radius is equal to diameter by 4. We will put the value. Then 9 into 0.1 by 4 into 10. It will come 0.94 seconds. Okay. Next question number 9. A uniform solid disc of R radius and the mass m is free to rotate on a frictionless pivot through an point of rim. The disc is released from the rest in the position where the diameter through the pivot is along horizontal. The speed of its center of mass when the diameter through the pivot is vertical. You need to know that, students. There is a solid disc and that is a uniform solid disc which has a radius r and the mass of this solid disc is m. Both is free to rotate on the rim. So whenever the disc is released from the rest, the initial position will be 0 where the diameter through the pivot is along horizontal. We need to calculate the speed of its center of mass when the diameter through the pivot is vertical. We need to know that the speed of a center of mass where the diameter through the pivot is always vertical is calculated by V equal to U plus AT. So whenever you will put the value, it will comes 2 GR by 3 whole 1 by 2. So the option will be first, here it is given 2 GR by 3 whole 1 by 2 or half. The option number D. Okay, come to the next part. Question number 10. Sound of frequency 1000 Hz from a stationary source is reflected from an object. Approach the source at 30 centimeters. 30 meter per second. Okay. So back to the stationary observer located at the source. The speed of sound in air is 330 meter per second. The frequency of the sound heard by the observer is. It's a very easy question. Here it is given that from a source, stationary source, the object sound which has a frequency 1000 Hz is approaching to the source again at 30 meter per second. When it is back, it is located to the source and the speed of sound at that time in the air is 330 meter per second. We need to calculate the frequency of sound heard by the observer. Here the options are 1200 Hz, 1000 Hz, 1090 Hz and 1100 Hz. So the current frequency option will be 1200 Hz. How it will comes? We need to calculate the frequency which is received by the approaching observer or the stationary source. It is calculated where the frequency is given 1000 Hz. If you will take the frequency which is coming again or reflect back, it will come equal to 1200 Hz. Okay. Question number 11. 4 identical mirrors are there which are made to stand vertically to form a square arrangement as shown in the top view. A ray starts from the midpoint M, as you can see, of a mirror AD, and after 2 reflections reach corner to D. Then the angle theta must be option A 1 by 10 0.75, 1 by cot 0.75, 1 by sine 0.75 or 1 by cos 0.75. So here it is given that the ray is starting from the point M and at that angle theta which is reached to the corner D at the right along the parallel path. So let A be the length of the side from the figure. Then we need to add 2 of the tan thetas from the x and from the A by x. We will get both the equations equal to A square minus XA. And from the square equations we use to substituting the value of x in the equations. If you will put the value, it will comes that tan theta is equal to 2A by 3 and A by 2. So equal to 4 by 3. Hence cot theta will be 1 by tan theta. So it will be equal to reciprocal of tan theta which is 4 by 3. Now cot theta equal to 3 by 4. If you will divide, the answer will be the theta cot minus 1 0.75 or 1 by cot into 0.75. The option D will be the answer. B will be the answer, cot 1 by cot 0.75. Okay. Question number 12. Read the given statement and select the correct option. Statement 1. A sphere is performing pure rolling on a rough horizontal surface with constant angular velocity. Frictional force acting on the sphere is 0. Statement 1. Where the statement 2 shows us that velocity of the contact point is 0. Options are there is equal to as a direction is given as acceleration and reason type questions. Okay. So here it is given A. Both statement 1 and 2 are true. The statement 2 is the correct explanation of statement 1. Option B. Both statement 1 and 2 are the true, but the statement 2 is not the correct explanation of statement 1. Option C. Statement 1 is true, but statement 2 is false. Option D, statement 1 is false but the statement 2 is true. So here you can see that the option 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, statement 1 and 2 both are true for this pair, as a performing pure rolling on the rough surface and with a constant frictional force as 0, because whenever there is a rolling surface is there, frictionless surface is there, we need to know that rolling friction equals to always 0 for a sphere. So it is true. And statement velocity of the constant point, it will be also 0. So option B will be the answer. Both statement 1 and 2 are true, but the statement 2 is not the correct explanation of statement 1. Come to the next question, number 13. Here you can see, read the given statement and select the correct option. Statement 1. A common model of solid assumes to be point executing SHM about mean lactic position. This model cannot explain thermal expansion of solid. Statement 2. The average distance over a time period of oscillation between the particles remains constant. Students, you need to know that a common model of solid, which is assuming the atoms, is true to be the point executing SHM about the mean lattice position. So the thermal expansion is there. Statement 2. Statement 2. The average distance over a time period of oscillation between the particles remains constant. So you need to choose an option A. Both statement 1 and 2 are true and the statement 2 is a correct explanation of statement 1. Option B. The both statement 1 and 2 are true but the statement 2 is not correct explanation of statement 1. Option C. Statement 1 is true but statement 2 is false. Statement D. 1 is false but the statement is true. As the statements are given, both are true but the statement 2 is the correct explanation of statement 1 also. Option number A will be the answer. Now the chemistry part is there. Question number 14. Which of the following statements regarding hydrogen peroxide is false? So out of 4, you need to know that one of the option is incorrect. 1. Option A, it is more stable in the basic solution. Number B, it is decomposed by manganese oxide. Number C, it is a strong oxidizing as well as the reducing agent in acidic as well as in the basic medium. Option D, it behaves as a reducing agent towards the acidified KMnO4 potassium manganese oxide. So here it is, option A will be the answer because we know that hydrogen is not more stable in the basic solution. As the acidic solution, the hydrogen is a base of acids. Okay, the option A will be the answer. Question number 15. An aqueous solution of halogen salt of potassium reacts with the same halogen X to give KX3. A violet colored solution which is used in the volumetric exercises, that is called iodometric titrations in halogen X is number A, fluorine, number B, bromine, that is bromine, number C, chlorine, and number D, iodide. Okay, so we need to choose any of the one option which will be the correct for KX3. As we know that the halogen of the sodium or salt of potassium always react the same halogen X, which is here already given that volumetric exercises, that is a iodometric titrate. So answer will be the iodine. So halogen X will be the iodine. Option D will be the correct answer. Question number 16. Aluminium chloride exists as a dimer Al2Cl6 in a solid state as well as in the solution of non-polar solvents such as benzene, which dissolved in water it gives number A, AlOH whole 6 minus 3 plus 3HCl. Option B, Al2O3 plus 6HCl. Option C, Al3 plus 3Cl minus. Option D, AlH2O whole 6 plus 3 plus 3Cl. So you need to know that what is dimer. that is a monomer, dimer, trimer. So these are actually known that the state as well as solution in non-polar solvent. So the answer is option C. No, option D is the answer. It is AlH2 whole 6 plus 3 plus 3Cl. Okay, so the answer of question number 16 will be the D. Question number 17. The electrophile E positive attracts the benzene ring to generate the intermediate complex often following. Which complex is of the lowest energy? Is the lowest energy A, that is a given benzene 6 carbon atom. So here it is given a ring to generate the intermediate complex. So option A, NO2 benzene with He. Option B, He option NO2, and there is no NO2 with He, and there is a polar attack of benzene ring to generate the intermediate is option number C. The answer will be C. Come to the next question number 18. In which pair of molecules is permanent dipole in the molecular 1 greater than that of the molecular 2? Option A is Cl CH3C double bond C Cl CH3. Option B CH3Cl C double bond C Cl CH3. Then CH3CH2Cl, or option 2 is there CH3CH Cl2. C is there Cl benzene Cl, and then here it is option A, B, C, D is given. So the question number 18 is showing us which is the correct pair of molecules in the permanent dipole. Okay. So answer A will be the correct option, as we know that there is given a pair of molecules which is permanent dipole in molecular 1 and it is greater than the molecular 2. Question number 19. Which of the following statement is false? So out of 4 you need to know that which are the 3 correct options and 1 is not matched. Option A, lower the concentration of DO, the more polluted is the water sample. Option B, the tolerable limit of lead in the drinking water is 50 ppm. Number C, water is considered pure if it has BOD less than 5 ppm. Option D, in the COD determination, the pollutants resistant to microbial oxidation are not oxidized by oxidizing agent like K2Cr2O7, potassium chromate. So option answer will be D is the correct option. In the COD determination, the pollutant resistant to the microbial oxidation are not oxidized by oxidizing agent. Actually it is not true. The microbial oxidation is only there is the pollutants resistance in the COD determination. Okay, and we obviously use potassium chromate as a oxidizing agent K2Cr2O7. Question number 20. Oxygen react with platinum 6 fluoride PTF6 as follows. O2 plus PTF6 give to O2 plus PTF6 minus. It was suggested that xenon should react similarly, and in this way the first noble gas compound was produced. So we need to know that xenon is react similarly as oxygen. So it will be Xe plus PTF6 give to Xe plus PTF6 minus. The most likely reason for the suggesting being made here is option A. Option 1 is given here. O and Xe have similar atomic radii. Oxygen and xenon has similar atomic radii. Option B, oxygen and xenon have similar election affinities. Option C, oxygen and xenon have similar electronic configuration. Option D, oxygen and xenon have similar first isolation ionization energies. So the option number D will be the correct answer, as oxygen and xenon have similar first ionization energies. Question number 21. In certain compound containing only carbon and oxygen has an approximate molecular weight of 290. On analyzing, this is found to contain exactly 50% by weight of each element. What is the value of N in the molecular formula CnX, H and Y? Okay, so we need to know about the carbon and oxygen are containing in a compound which has an approximately weight is 290. So we need to observe that it is found exactly 50% by weight, on which each weight of the element is given. So the value of N in the molecular formula CnX and H and Y. So we need to know about the molecular formula of CX, N and YNX. Option number C will be the correct answer, that is 3. Question number 22. The internal energy changes when a system goes from state P to Q is 40 kJ per mole. If the system goes from P to Q by a reversible path, that is Q to P, and return to state P again by an irreversible path, what would be the net change in the internal energy? Need to know, there is a system. In this system, internal energies are changes from the state P to Q and Q to P again to P, but it an irreversible path after returning to state P. So the internal energy would be changed in a net change of internal energy, like P to Q is 40 kJ per mole. Option A, B, C and D will be there. Here it is given that the energy changes equal to 40 kJ, more than 40 kJ, less than 40 kJ, or there is no energy changes. So option D will be the 0. As we know that P to Q is 40 kJ per mole. Again the system goes from P to Q by reversible path. Q to P, it will be again minus 40 kJ per mole. But when it is returned to state P by an irreversible path and goes to Q again, it will be equal to 40 kJ per mole, as it is an internal energy change. So the option will be D. 0 internal energy will be changed as a net change. Okay. Question number 23. H2S is passed through an acidified solution of copper sulfate and a black precipitate is formed. The cause, or this is due to number 1, oxidation of Cu+2, reduction of Cu+2, double decomposition or reduction or oxidation. So we need to know that copper sulfate solution acidified and black precipitate of this is formed. As we know that both are decomposed. After decomposing, there is H2 is acidified copper sulfate and black precipitate is formed. So option C, double decomposition will be the answer. Question number 25. Which of the following alkenes on reductive ozonolysis will give a mixture of ketones? A, B, C and D. A is CH3 CH double bond CH CH3. Option B, CH3 whole 2C equal to double bond CH CH3. Option C, CH3 whole 2C double bond C CH3 and C2H5. Option D, CH3 whole 2C is double bond CH2. So we need to know that following alkenes on reductive ozonolysis will give the mixture of ketones. Option will be the C. C is a CH3 whole 2C double bond C CH3 C2H5. Students, we will start section 2 in our next video. For the day, the class is over. Thank you and have a nice day.